Hello everyone, in the 10th lecture we will talk about the image alt tags and also the image URLs. So the first thing that you should understand for both of these things, I use these things for reflecting my overall topicality and the contextuality better. Basically, whatever you see in web page title tag and web page URL and web page description, in the image URL, in the image alt tag, we just expand it further and vary it further. If there are certain types of words or the vocabulary that I didn't use before, I use them here. For instance, climatic, let's say, and here we have climate and climatic. Then here we have also vegetation, which is a similar word to the fauna, and or botanic. It's up to you. But based on these specific variations, we always try to reflect our topicality better to increase overall relevance. In the image URLs, they might be slightly longer than the URLs in this area because as you see here, we always use a single word. But when it comes to the featured image URL, we can actually use longer phrases or multiple words in this part. And most of the time, I don't exceed the 3 words. Even the image URLs, I try to use shorter ones. The purpose of using shorter URLs is actually providing search engine a kind of cost advantage. The shorter URLs, they are better for search engines to process. And as a tip, if a search engine sees 2 duplicate pages, exactly the same, but let's say there is no canonical tag at all, they usually choose the shorter URL as the canonical one. And at the same time, when you use shorter URLs, it's easier for them to actually augment these things, verbalize these words, and understand the main context of that specific URL as well. When it comes to image alt tag, I usually try to use the words inside my image URL with even more verbalized. Whenever you see the words in this part, they are like actually variations or expansion of the words in the image URL. So nothing is random here. German life cycles, living conditions, costs in Germany, let's say German language education and language schools, or many other things here. We can also use them, or we can decrease the distance between different types of words too. Because when you look at here, the coast and the Germany, there is a little bit distance in this area. But if you look at here, coast and Germany, they are really close to each other. If we aggregate all the words that appear in all these sections, you will be able to get the overall topicality of the website. You will understand which word is closer to which word and in what way and what are the vocabulary changes. And all of them are actually for reflecting relevance and increasing the overall responsiveness too. When it comes to the core section of the topical map, this section is of course more important, and here we try to actually use some other enriching context terms as well. And usually, as you see here, this part, especially the alt text, they are longer. In my headline or featured images, I don't use sentences. I usually use conjunctive verbs like and. I don't use complete sentence, but I just use context terms, like Germany work permit or application for citizenship in Germany, etc. In the future lectures, I will also explain how I design my headline images. I always use a text in my images. Usually that text is a shorter version of my heading one. And I put it to the top or to the bottom. I always add my brand. I always use unique images. I always license the image to show the human effort that we actually put there. And at the same time, the image should be so unique that it should be like first image the search engine has seen, so that actually they can evaluate you as an authoritative source earlier. And the objects inside the image, especially objects at the center of the image, they should be reflected in your alt tag. The other surrounding objects, they are not that much important, and we will see these examples as well in the future lectures. Thank you.